Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. Leaks and spoilers abound as we get more previews for Aether Drift. So, as we get started, don't forget, like, subscribe, hell, become a YouTube member for just $1. It'll help support the channel. If not, there's links in the description where you can buy all the cards from the box opening videos. That does wonders as well. Plus, get you a little something, in the mail. So, check out the links in the description, and let's get into the previews. We're going to start off with the wonderful Interface Ace. God, is this blurry? Jesus. Anyway, white and 1 for an 0-4 Robot Pilot. An 0-4. We ain't piloting shit. Anyway, this creature saddles, mounts, and crews vehicles using its toughness rather than its power. Never mind, it crews fucking everything. Whenever this creature becomes tapped during your turn, untap it. This ability triggers only once each turn. This basically crews two things at once. That's what this says. You can tap it to crew something. It's become tapped. You may untap it and then crew something else. This is also going to be a combo card in decks where you enchant a creature to tap it and get an ability out of it. I'm just saying. This is going to get wild. And the things we're going to see with this card are going to be probably crazy. So, moving on. Next, we have the Glory Health Lynx. That's a better picture. 1 white and 1 for a 2/3 lifelinker. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. It only saddles for 2. This is going to be in every white deck. Because every white creature basically has 2 power or more in some way, shape, or form. Or 2/1/1s. Take your pick. Whatever. You're going to be able to saddle this, and you're going to tap and attack and pull a land out of your deck. You're basically drawing a card, but not really because it's not from the top of your deck, but you are getting a card out of your deck. It's kind of like 2/3, but it does do deck thinning. Like, there's lots of possibilities with this card, and it's a 2/3. I mean, it still dies to most removal in the older formats, but this is still amazing, and in Standard, I think this is going to be a powerhouse. Moving on, we have the Curse Cloth Wrappings, 2 black and 2 artifact. Zombies you control get +1/+1. Hey, an artifact lord that doesn't even have legs. Kind of makes sense, I guess, zombies and all. Anyway, tap, target creature card in your graveyard gains Embalm till the end of turn. The Embalm cost is equal to its mana cost. Wow, this is good. This is like a better Whip of Erebos. No, it's not a better Whip of Erebos because Embalm makes it disappear forever. Maybe this is a fixed Whip of Erebos. We'll call it that. But again, also, no ability... the ability requires no activation cost other than just tapping. I think this is going to be very popular in Standard. And if you have a Commander Zombie deck, you better pick this up before somebody makes it expensive. Yeah. Next, we have the Wickerfolk Indomitable. Whatever the hell that means. Black and 3 for a 4/3 Artifact Scarecrow. You may cast this card from your graveyard by paying 2 life and sacrificing an artifact or creature in addition to paying its other costs. Well, that's interesting. I mean, it'd probably be good for, like, limited. You get, I don't know, sacrifice a shitty artifact in your limited deck or a 1/1 token or something. I mean, it probably has some play in some kind of weird combo deck, but I mean, it could be good in Aristocrats because, you sack the creature, pay 2 life, your opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, you put this into play, then you can sack this and then repeat the process with a different creature. I mean, there's a little something there, but it's 4 mana. Kind of high. Next, we have the Canyon Vaulter. That's an interesting art. White and 1 for a 3/1. Whenever this creature saddles a mount or crews a vehicle during your main phase, the mount or vehicle gains flying. Well, this is just going to be good. Hey, it's a core. I didn't notice that. Sweet. I guess. I mean, this picture does not do it justice. The cores are not circus performers, I guess, to put it nicely. Anyway, this is going to be very popular. Again, 2 mana, 3/1. Standard mono white. There you go. what you've always looking for, plus the ability to give your creatures that have vehicle or mounts the ability to fly. Like the cat we just saw, that's a 2/3 that lets you pull planes out of your deck. Seems like a good combo. Anyway. Next, we have the Carrion Cruiser, black and 2 for this 3/2. When it enters, you get to mill 2 cards, then return a creature card or vehicle card from your graveyard to your hand. Cruise for 1. Some people mentioned some mill decks. This might be good in it. I mean, cruise for 1, it's a 3/2. It lets you mill twice. I mean, if this is your jam, then, I mean, sure. Whatever. Next, we have Roadside Blowout. Blue and 2. Spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a permanent, mana value 1, so it could be 1 blue. Return target creature or vehicle an opponent controls to its owner's hands to draw a card. Fine for limited. It is a sorcery, which means it will not be as good as instant ones. But the ability to do it for 1 blue and draw a card, pretty cool. I mean, if they have something that's 1 mana. But it is any permanent, so Next, we have the Brightfield Glider. Is that a giant sugar glider? That is sweet. Anyway, 1 white for a 1/1 with Vigilance. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, it gets +1/+2 and gains flying. Nice. Saddles for 3, though. That's okay. That Core Pilot saddles for 3. But anyway, fine for limited. Next, we have it's Mu Yangling, the Wind Rider. And she's a legendary creature, not a planeswalker this time. 2 blue and 2 for a 2/4. Whenever this creature enters, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1. Vehicles you control have flying. That is huge. Holy crap. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. Holy shit. Yeah. She is the bomb. Unfortunately, she's in blue. Not known for their creature beatdowns, just saying, in essence. But this could be changing that. I mean, a vehicle deck with her and some other stuff, and they all get flying. You hit, draw 20 cards because all your shit flies. And also with that said, this is prime bait for some Commander. Next, we have the robot. What the hell is that? Nidifint? The Hootie Hottie? Just kidding. So, what this really is the nesting robot. It's 1 white for a 1/1. Okay, we're starting off in vanilla. It has start your engines, so that's something. When this creature dies, you create a 1/1 servo artifact creature token. So, it's your basic white 1/1 that replaces himself. Fine. At max speed, this creature gets +1/+0, so it becomes a 2/1. I mean, it's going to be just fine, I guess, as far as, like, a regular creature. But, yeah, I don't see anything too sweet coming out of this one just to be fair. I mean, it'll probably see play in standard. I mean, whatever. So, I mean, yeah, whatever. Moving on. Next, we have the Acolyte Perliax. Or as some of us like to call it, the Perilous Snare. Anyway, this is a white and 2 artifact, so it also has start your engines. Now, when this artifact enters, you exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until this artifact leaves play. So, basically an Oblivion Ring. Good white removal. At max speed, this thing has tap. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Activate only as a sorcery. Holy cow. So this is removal that pumps your creatures. Wow, are we really getting into some power creep? This is like 2 cards in 1. Like, for the same price. Like, okay, I mean, so this is a thing. We'll just, yeah, it's good removal. Use it. Next, we have the Beast Rider Vanguard. Green and 1 for a 2/2. Human Knight, common, green and 4. Look at top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them, put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom in random order. I mean, it's your basic filler space for your limited decks. I mean, 2/2 for 2. If you get to use the 5 mana ability, it's a bonus. So next we have the End Rider Catalyzer. End Rider Cat. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Anyway, red and 1 for a 3/1. It has start your engines at max speed. You can tap it for 2 red. Interesting. No drawback to the mana. You just got to be able to punch your opponent in the face 4 times. In some way, shape, or form. And it becomes a mana dork. Interesting. I see lots of possibilities here. I mean, it could be in a red rush deck just because it's a 3/1 for 2. But can you put the extra red mana to use, later on, and can you get max speed on this thing fast enough that matters before your red swarm just kills your opponent? Interesting. Let's see how this plays. Limited All-Star. Next, we have Stock Up. A blue and 2 sorcery. Look at top 5 cards of your library. Put 2 of them in your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Hello, Nurse. This is a premium card. I know it's 3 mana. I know it's a sorcery, but God, do I like this. This is, in my opinion, better than Brain Surge. So this is going to be seeing play in lots of Commander decks. I mean, 3 mana, get 2 cards. I mean, sorcery is a drawback, but come on, look what this thing does. I mean, all you gotta do is lay a little Teferi action out there and make your sorceries cast as instants, and voila, problem solved. Great for limited. Next, we have the Demonic Junker, black and 6 for a 4/3, affinity for artifacts. Ooh, boy. When this vehicle enters, for each player, destroy up to 1 target creature that player controls. If a creature you controlled was destroyed this way, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this vehicle. Okay. So it does make you kill your own stuff, but it does kill your opponent's stuff, and it has affinity for artifacts, so you can very easily play this for 1 black on turn 3 or 4. It would then become a 6/5. You blew your own stuff up, and then if you could crew it, it would just be a beast. I think it's going to see play in Standard. I mean, it's kind of like creature plus removal. I mean, and if you don't kill your stuff, it's not like you have to, so it's basically creature plus removal. Very interesting, and who knows, this might be something for an affinity deck in Modern. I mean, Jesus. Anyway, next we have Tune Up. White and 3 sorcery. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's a vehicle, it becomes an artifact creature. So we got graveyard shenanigans. This is cool and all. We've seen these style of decks try to abuse cards like this all the time, and it never really comes through, but who knows? Maybe with all the powerful vehicles, maybe it'll be different this time. As my eyes roll to the back of my head and I move on. Anyway, so next on the list, we have the Explosive Getaway. White, red, and 3 sorcery. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. It deals 4 damage to each creature. Well, this is interesting. So basically, for 5 mana, you can remove something that is yours, you want to save, and then kind of pseudo board wipe, and then let it come back at the end step so you don't lose your stuff. Interesting. Let's see how it plays. I'm sure it'll be good in Commander, definitely. Probably good in Limited. Next, we have the Pace Setter Paragon. That art is awful. Good God, help us. Sorry, that slipped out. Kind of like this art. Anyway, red and 2 for this 2/3. It has Exhaust. Red and 2, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. It gains double strike till end of turn. God, this is just awful all around. I mean, I guess you play this in Limited. You're desperate. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have the District Mascot, the goodest of boys. It's a dog mount. That just seems wrong. Anyway, 1 green for a 0/0. Anyway, this creature enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. Ooh, who counters? For a green and 1, remove 2 +1/+1 counters from this creature to destroy an artifact. Interesting. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Saddles for 1, not legendary. Ooh, this could be really good as a 4-of in a mono green deck. You know, they can saddle each other, get pluses, then you have disenchantments with legs, and things get ugly. Well, okay, it's not disenchant, it only destroys artifacts. But for Standard, in the current environment with Aether Drift and all the vehicles, this seems like a powerhouse card. It is definitely the goodest of boys. Anyway, moving on. Next one. Speaking of the goodest boys, it's Bestow Greatness. Green and 2, target creatures +4/+4 and gains trample. That's, I mean, for limited, fine, whatever. Picture's so cute. Next, we have the Volio Heart Bike. Green and 2, the vehicle enters, you gain 2 life, fine. It's a 4/2. Ooh. Add 1 mana of any color, cruise for 2. If it wasn't 3 mana, this would be a good mana rock. But for limited, it is an amazing mana rock because not like having a mana rock to lay your big spells, and when they kill it, you just crew this up, and your mana rock punches your opponent in the John Thomas. Anyway, so yeah, moving on. We have Haunt the Network, blue, black, and 3. Sorcery. Choose target opponent. Create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Okay. Then the chosen player loses X life. You gain X life, where X is the number of artifacts you control. I kind of sort of sense a standard deck here. Maybe. Yeah. This is just too weird. We'll just leave it at that. I don't think on that one. We have the Gilded Goda, or Gonda. We have the double G. Red and 1 for a 2/2. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, you make a treasure token. So good. Saddles for 1. Well, it is a common, but this is one of the best commons. This is definitely going to be in Red Rush because extra mana is extra mana. I don't care what you say. And in Limited, it's going to be amazing. This might see play in some older decks. Who knows? It's not Ragavan. It's kind of Ragavan light. But just making treasure tokens for like pseudo mana ramp can be so strong. So moving on. Next we have the Clamorous Ironclad. Kind of cool. Very kind of reminds me of the art from the 90s and stuff. I'm down with this. Anyway, red and 3 for a 6/3 with Menace. These are some weird stats. Cruise for 3. Okay. Cycles for a red. All right, I'm on board now. Yeah. The fact this cycles makes this a limited all-star in my opinion, because if you get it out there and it's a 6/3 and you manage to crew it, look out, coming in hot. So yeah, I mean, he's probably not going to see much play past that. However, well, I was going to say Living In, but it's an artifact, so never mind. Yeah, just a good limited card. Next, we have Back on Track. We have a black and 4 sorcery. Turn target creature card or vehicle card from the graveyard to the battlefield. Create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with it saddles at 2 or greater. I mean, this is your basic 5 mana resurrection spell that maybe gets a vehicle, and on the chance that you do get a vehicle, you always get somebody who can pilot it, as long as the saddle ability is not astronomical. I mean, it's fine for limited. So with that, that is all the cards from the main set. Now we get a look at the second Commander deck, and it's an interesting one, so let's take a peeky peek. So we're going to start with what is apparently the Priest of the Crossing. Interesting. A white and 3 for a 3/3 flyer. Very vanilla in the cost there. Beginning of each end step, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. That is interesting for many reasons. I mean, there's lots of shenanigans like Wrath of God, stuff like that, but you have to make this indestructible, or all your creatures indestructible. I'm sure there's shenanigans in here somewhere. Prophet of the Scarab, blue and 4 for a 3/4 vigilance. Did we just reuse this art from another card? Like, was this just not another card? Like, this was like up in the corner? Anyway, whatever. 3/4 vigilance. When this creature enters, draw cards equal to the number of zombies you control. Oh my god. Or the number of zombie cards in your graveyard, whichever is greater. Wow. Yeah, if you got a zombie deck, I hope it's got blue in it. If it does, it better have this. We have Renewed Solidarity. White and 2. This enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creature of the chosen type, +1/+0. Beginning of your end step, for each token you control of the chosen type that entered this turn, create a token that's a copy. Cool, but very situational. I guess with embalm cards and other token cards, it does slide into several decks. This is an embalm deck, so Okay, I'm down. Ret Tome Mystic, blue and 1 for a 2/1 flyer. Not bad. Each creature card in your hand has cycling a blue and 1. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah. The shenanigans here to throw all your embalmed cards in the graveyard, to draw more cards, and then, this deck needs a living end like nobody's business. I'm telling you what. Anyway, we have the Wizened Mentor, white and 1 for a 2/2. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a permanent that isn't a mana ability, you get a 1/1 white zombie creature token. Triggers only once each turn. Oh, there it is. Token generation. Yeah. Man. That's really good with Renewed Solidarity. Anyway, on Wings of Gold, white and 3 enchantment. Creatures you control that are zombies and or tokens get +1/+1 and have flying. Holy crap. It's the white and 1 enchantment. It gives all tokens +1/+1, but this one also gives flying for an extra 2 mana. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 white zombie token. When did white become the zombie token deck? Holy cow. Wow, is that good. Next we have Lost Monarch of Ifnir. Black and 3 for a 4/4. Afflict 3. Interesting. Other zombies you control have Afflict 3. That's, I'm coming in. I'm going to block all your guys so I live. Cool, I'm going to bolt you 12 times. Die anyway. I like that. At the beginning of your second main phase, if a player was dealt combat damage by a zombie this turn, mill 3 cards. Then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That is so good. Like, this deck's a beast. Oh, my lord. We have the Cursed Duneyard. To land, taps for colorless. Comes into play on tap. That's cool. For 2, regenerate target Shade, Skeleton, Spectre, Spirit, Vampire, Wraith, or Zombie. So basically any undead. That's kind of cool. I mean, I've seen worse lands by far with things like Elephant Graveyard, for example. Yeah, all these cards seem really good. They play really well together. But these cards are going to get split up very often into other normal token decks because some of these cards are just too good for tokens combined with zombies. Like, there's all kinds of shenanigans going on here. This is going to be a premium deck and probably the better of the... Well, I don't know. The energy deck was pretty hot, too. I'm going to lie. We'll have to wait and see. Both these decks seem really good. So... thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with my nonsense. Till next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. Boy, I can't wait. If my Innistrad comes in tomorrow, I'm going to crack boxes. Oh, so many boxes.